All right, let's talk about a journey that pretty much every business is on, whether they realize it or not. We're going from Excel hell all the way to autonomous operations. And this explainer? Well, think of it as your roadmap.
So let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest. Does the term Excel hell hit a little too close to home? You know what I'm talking about, right? That place where the most important parts of your business are literally held together by spreadsheets.
And to put a real number on that pain, check this out, 40%. Data shows that some managers spent a whopping 40% of their time. We're talking 2 full days out of every single week just updating spreadsheets. That's not high-level strategy, that's just data entry.
And look, this isn't just some small annoyance. No, this is a massive systemic problem. Let's dig into what Excel hell actually feels like for teams on the ground.
I mean, this is the reality, isn't it? Picture this. Your finance team is burning the midnight oil just to get month-end reports done. Your supply chain pros, they're not optimizing anything. They're stuck manually copying and pasting data between 3 different systems. This is that day-to-day friction that just grinds a business to a halt.
But here's the flip side. What's the real cost of not fixing this? It's huge. We're looking at data from over 850 deployments here, and it shows that teams who break out of this cycle, they get back over 250 hours every single week. I mean, just stop and think about that. What could your team do with an extra 250 hours a week? Okay, so how do you actually get that time back? How do you capture that opportunity? Well, you need a plan, a roadmap, and luckily for us, one exists. So let's walk through it, the 5-stage automation roadmap.
And I want to be super clear here. This isn't just some academic theory. Nope. This model is built on the back of real-world data from analyzing over 850 enterprise deployments. It's a proven framework that shows the exact path from where most companies are to where they really need to be.
And here it is, the whole journey in 5 steps. We started stage 1, Excel hell. We all know that one. Then we moved through some really tricky, dangerous stages like shadow IT and the IT-led bottleneck before we finally get to the real goal. So let's break each of these down.
All right, let's start at the beginning. But really, these early stages are where all the trouble is. They're the common traps where so many companies get stuck, just burning through cash and, honestly, burning out their people.
So, stage 1, Excel hell. Look, it's not just inefficient, it's actually dangerous for the business. You've got massive compliance risks with no audit trails, huge security risks with sensitive data just floating around on laptops. It takes days to get basic answers. And maybe worst of all, the employee turnover in these roles is 40% higher. It's a total lose-lose.
So, what happens? Well, smart people try to fix the problem, right? But this is where we hit stage 2, shadow IT. Each department goes out and buys its own little tool to solve its own little problem, and while the intention is good, it creates total chaos for the company. You get data silos everywhere, integration becomes a nightmare, and you've basically just created a ticking time bomb for data breaches and compliance fines.
Okay, so after that chaos, the pendulum swings all the way back. IT locks everything down and takes total control. Welcome to stage 3. It feels safer, sure, but what it really creates is a massive, frustrating bottleneck. Business teams have to wait months, sometimes years, for their automation requests. And here's the kicker. According to EY, 30 to 50% of these big, traditional projects, they just fail. They're too slow, too rigid, and too brittle.
But after all that pain, this is where the story gets really interesting. We've navigated the first 3 messy stages, and now we're getting to the sweet spot, the optimal balance. This is where the real magic happens for most companies.
And the change is all about a shift in mindset. Just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got the stage 3 bottleneck. IT owns everything, projects take 6 to 12 months, and the bots break every time a button moves. On the other side, the stage 4 breakthrough. Now, the business users, the people who actually know the process, can build their own solutions in just a couple of days. And IT, they get to step up and play a much more strategic role as governors. It's a complete game changer.
And the results? Wow, they really speak for themselves. This isn't just theory. This is the hard data. At stage 4, we're seeing those 250 plus hours saved every single week, an average of 150,000 euros saved in the very first year. And maybe the most important number, 94% user adoption. And you know why it's so high? Because the people who feel the pain are the ones empowered to build a solution. It just works.
Now, you might be asking, what about stage 5? And yeah, that's the ultimate goal, the fully autonomous self-driving enterprise.
It's cool to think about, but the data is really clear on this. For about 90% of companies out there, Stage 4 is the promised land. It delivers the absolute best return on investment. It's that perfect balance between speed for the business and safety for IT.
This little chart here just sums it all up perfectly. You can literally watch the evolution. Look at IT's involvement. It goes from basically nothing to reactive firefighting to being a total bottleneck, and then, boom, to a strategic governance role. And at the same time, look what happens to the risk. It goes from critical all the way down to very low. That's the journey you want to be on.
All right, so now it's your turn. Let's make this real for you. After hearing all that, where do you think your company is right now? Let's ask a couple of quick questions to find out.
Okay, first question. Your month-end close. Does it take more than 5 days? If the answer is yes, well, I hate to break it to you, but that's a pretty clear sign you're deep in Stage 1 Excel hell.
Or how about this one? Is your backlog for new automation requests longer than 3 months? You know, the business has all these great ideas, but they're just sitting in a line waiting for IT? If that sounds familiar, you are smack dab in the middle of the Stage 3 bottleneck. The will is there, but the system is broken. Okay, so knowing where you are is the first crucial step, but just knowing isn't enough, right? We have to do something about it. So let's talk about the path from where you are to where you need to be. And the path forward is actually pretty straightforward. 3 simple steps. 1. Document your current state. Be brutally honest about the manual work and the pain it's causing. 2. Calculate the opportunity cost. Figure out what those wasted hours are really costing you. And 3. Use that data to build a rock-solid business case for making a change.
Because ultimately, this gets to the absolute core of it. This isn't really about technology. It's about empowerment. The most successful companies aren't just buying software. They're fundamentally changing how they work to empower their people. That is the big idea. So I'll leave you with this final thought. You've seen the map. The data shows that you don't have to crawl through every single one of these painful stages. You can actually leapfrog the chaos and go straight to the solution. So the real question isn't how, it's when. Are you going to climb every single painful step, or are you going to leap?